The Chartered Financial Analysts Society of Nigeria today hosted its 2018 investment conference, which focused on the theme, Let's Measure Up. It brought together investment professionals, financial experts, policymakers, regulators, bankers, industry leaders, scholars, and technocrats. In his opening remarks, the president of the CFA Society Nigeria, Mr. Banji Feintola, gave some insight into the theme of the conference.
CFA Society Nigeria is very glad for this unique opportunity today to bring our industry together and to provide a platform for dialogue and advocacy. I always say to my team that the reason why we exist is advocacy, for us to be able to influence and improve our markets. We're proud to be a thought leader in our markets, and everything we do upholds the CFA Institute's mission of leading the investment profession globally by promoting the highest standards of ethics, education, and professional excellence for the ultimate benefit of society. As you are aware, the theme of this year's conference is Let's Measure Up. At a time when the investment industry and our clients are looking up to us as investment professionals to uphold the highest standard of ethics and professionalism, the theme is extremely relevant. For Nigeria in particular, there is no better time than now to remind ourselves about our collective obligations to measure up to the highest standards that will promote the development of our capital markets, increase inward investment flows, and deliver economic prosperity to our people. This is the aim of this conference.
Mr. Paul Smith, the president of the CFA Institute, called on investment experts in Nigeria to embrace professionalism and trust in their engagement with clients and customers.
When you think about the 3 billion people who will shortly be alive here and living in Africa, it is in so many ways CFA Institute's tomorrow, because the vast bulk of those people will be young people. And like all young, smart people, they will want education, and they will be drawn to the programs that we offer and hopefully to becoming a professional going forward. So Nigeria is CFA Institute's future, and I hope that, as Banji said, you can see that your future here in the country is bound up with your ability to deliver professionalism into your communities. Professionalism really is about purpose. When you think about it, when you think about the professions that we all know and admire, like doctors, for instance, they have a purpose. And I think the problem with the investment management industry is that we have failed to really articulate that purpose with sufficient force into our communities. And we need to do that. We need to be a lot louder and a lot prouder about the point of investment management. We need to be able to convince the communities that we serve that really without us, they are going to be poorer. That if Nigeria is to develop a society that delivers wealth and happiness to its people, then it is through professionals like us, through the investment management industry, that will be in large part accomplished. For it's us that needs to channel domestic savings and inward foreign investment into those areas that Nigeria needs most. And for someone like me who suffered for 2 hours on the way in from the airport this morning, you definitely need infrastructure. So that would be my first tip. Build some good roads, and then go on from there to try and build a better country going forward. So your future is in your hands, and I want to try to inspire you today with that message. Please take it to heart. If you're charter holders, if you're students studying for our exam, or if you're people who just enjoy being part of our community, our sponsors and others who perhaps are not part of the CFA family, take that message to heart, that it's through professionalism, through a sense of purpose, that we can really make sure that we have a sustainable industry going forward. And then when you pull that word professionalism apart some more, you really understand that the way that a professional behaves is really founded upon the core concept of trust. That all professions have an asymmetry of information, if you like. Again, going back to doctors, a doctor knows far more about medicine, knows far more about your body, knows far more about the things that ail you than you do. And so you have to trust your physician to deliver the best prescription that they can for you. And the challenge that we have as financial services professionals is that all too often we have failed that trust test, that our clients don't trust us instinctively. And we have to work harder to deserve the credibility that trust brings with it. So that's really my main message today. Think about your purpose. Think about how you can build trust with your clients, with regulators, and with your employers. And it's through those twin things that we can measure up to this aspiration that we all have here in Nigeria to build a country that truly serves your population going forward and delivers the standard of living and the happiness that all Nigerians truly deserve.
The Central Bank of Nigeria Governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, who graced the occasion, commended the CFA Society for its role in driving transparency and ethics in the investment profession, which was key to financial stability.
I commend you for the initiatives to, through this conference, improve the ethical standards, transparency, and credibility of Nigeria's investment industry. And I will also speak to that. This will certainly aid the development of an efficient financial system and immensely help to boost systemic liquidity and deepen our financial markets. At the CBN, we appreciate the ensuing professionalism which you aim to pursue and are willing to collaborate with you to foster confidence and ensure stability of the Nigerian financial system.
The opening session featured panel sessions on boosting confidence in the financial services industry, role of ethics, incentives and behavioral changes, and bridging the infrastructural gap, what Nigeria must do to measure up with the developed world. The Sarkin Shanun Kano, Shehu Mohammed makes a strong case for the financial institutions to build trust in the financial system.
If we look at the system we're operating today, I can say clearly that confidence is getting weaker in the financial system today. The reason is not far too difficult to understand. Even though banking is the most regulated industry worldwide, the happenings since 2008 during the financial crisis has worsened the confidence people have in financial institutions. Trust, as the President said when he was talking, is extremely important because we are talking about money, and we know what money means to human species.
Confidence is extremely important for both financial institutions and the customers because it's a two-way affair. An institution that is built on ethical considerations will get the support of its customers. And if it works transparently, giving all the facts as they are, then the customers are more likely to trust it and bring their funds to the financial institution. Conversely, the customers too have to be open to their financial institutions by giving all the facts that they are asked to provide. In many cases, you find that financial institutions train their staff to ensure that their customers are treated like kings. They always say customers are always right. So behavior is very important in building trust. Charming, compassionate, impartial, all these qualities are essential in bank staff or financial institution staff to ensure confidence and trust from their customers.
Mr. Banji Feintola speaks on the role of the CFA Society Nigeria in shaping the nation's investment climate.
This is the time that Nigeria as a country needs to start thinking of which ways we can improve our economy, we can improve our regulatory environment, the investment climate in general, in order to attract a pool of capital from the rest of the world into Nigeria. I mean, as some of the speakers rightly said today, Nigeria is just one out of various investment destinations globally. So we need to do something right. We need to measure up to global standards. We need to ensure that our capital markets are functioning. We need to ensure that we're adhering to the highest standard of ethics and professionalism to ensure that our markets are attractive to foreign investors as well as domestic investors. So for us, organizing this conference, this is one out of many things that we hope to achieve. And hopefully we've been able to put this Let's Measure Up tagline into the minds of people. And you can see there are so many decorations and so many advertisements on Let's Measure Up. So I'm hoping it will trend in this industry for a long time.
Even the CBN governor talked about the fact that it's good to have investment conferences like this where stakeholders come in. So are we expecting a communique that should be sent to the policymakers that are involved in driving issues around investment promotion in the country?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. For me, it would be very bad of us to finish this conference and we don't really have any learning points or things that we can share and use, to make our country to move forward. So clearly, after the conference is over, we're going to sit down, summarize what all the speakers said, and, produce something for the policymakers, publish something for the industry. Again, if you noticed, one of the things we tried to do differently this year from the last time we held this conference was to actually ensure that there's a period whereby we were interacting with policymakers, like the CBN governor, the Minister of Trade, being represented by the NIPC Executive Secretary, and then all that. So for us, it's quite important that policymakers and the industry talk from time to time. The central bank governor said a lot of things that are instructive. For example, holding conferences outside of Nigeria. You do a Nigerian investment conference outside of Nigeria. That tells you something is not right. And, I was very proud when he said, he was happy about the CFA conference here. So we owe him a duty. We owe the policymakers a duty. We owe our industry a duty to produce something that summarizes what we've done here today. It's a whole day. A lot has been said, but all that will be lost if it's not documented and used in order to move our country forward.
The 2018 Investment Conference has opened up immense possibilities for what stakeholders can do to position Nigeria as the leading investment destination in Africa. It all boils down to trust in the financial services industry, an enabling policy environment, sanctity of contracts, and high-level professionalism from the financial analysts.